in interesting times. This week's stories. In DC, Kalayaan 2019, Filipinos celebrate the 121st year of Philippine independence in Washington with friends, food, and a concert. In Hawaii, a U.S. agency performs an enduring mission in recovering the remains of fallen heroes. In Maryland, the kinetic sculpture race marks 21 years of human-powered artwork. In Sacramento, California, Bubble Run aims to keep kids off the couch. Plus, in Oakland, NBA Cares creates space for the youth. Hello everyone, I'm Alan Basoyahe bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News Weekend Edition, broadcasting from our Los Angeles studio. In DC, for Kalayaan 2019, Filipinos celebrated the 121st year of Philippine independence in Washington with friends, food, and a concert at the Kennedy Center in DC. Formally addressing guests of the celebration, Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Romualdez, said in a speech, "An independent country must be self-reliant, able to use its own resources to provide the basic needs of its people, and liberate them from the bondage of poverty." Guest of honor, Undersecretary of State for Management Brian Bulatao, said the U.S. and the Philippines share a long history and are connected by the bonds of friendship and democracy. Bulatao added, "The U.S. government wishes for the friendship of the two nations to endure for the years and decades to come, and that may the Philippines and the U.S. continue to work together with courage of a nation, compassion for the people, and deliver on their share of aspirations of prosperity, security, and liberty." Ms. Universe Catriona Gray joined Romualdez and Bulatao for the ceremonial cake cutting and posed for photographs with eager guests. A concert by Philippine treasure Cecil Licad, sponsored by the U.S.-Philippines Society, followed the reception. Licad awed guests with a powerful performance of pieces by Filipino composer Francisco Buencamino and Polish composer Frédéric Chopin. In Hawaii, fulfilling our nation's promise. This is the motto for one U.S. government agency responsible for the accounting of all missing American service members who served in previous wars to be returned home to their loved ones. Our news team from Hawaii visited the agency's facility at Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam. Mio Senes has the story.
And I often get asked in my travels, why do we do this? And isn't it like opening old wounds? On the contrary, this is about bringing closure to the families of the missing. And that is a huge part of our culture. And we find that, I just presided over a funeral a few weeks ago, and we brought home a sailor from World War II, and he had a 96-year-old sister. And I cannot tell you how happy and how thankful she was to have this closure, finally knowing where her brother was and to have him interred back here in the United States.
Located not far from Honolulu's International Airport is a Department of Defense agency with just about 600 military and civilian personnel. However, this small organization carries an enormous yet honorable task of fulfilling America's promise of bringing home the remains of all fallen service members from present and past conflicts. This is the Defense of POW MIA Accounting Agency, or DPAA.
So DPAA has existed for a little over 4 years, but the United States has been doing this mission for about 40 years. And it was taken on as a mission due to families of our missing, especially from the Vietnam War, that worked with our government and our Congress to press us to take on this as a mission to try and account for all of the Americans missing at that time back from the Vietnam War. Back in 2010, the U.S. Congress passed a law that asked the Department of Defense to account for all Americans missing from past conflicts as far back as World War II.
According to DPAA's annual report, 2018 was a record breaker for the agency as it successfully accounted for 203 personnel from past wars, the highest number achieved in 1 year. DPAA attributes this success to the expansion of using technology and science, as well as recent improvements in conducting field operations.
Because we do missions all over the world. We work in Europe, North Africa, Central, South America, all over Asia, and all over the Pacific Islands. And so because we have such a diverse mission set, we have a really strong planning component to the mission with a lot of experts who are very good at planning missions. We also have a pretty impressive logistical capability that includes military airlift, the ability to send teams and equipment to very, very remote corners of the world. And so when we're going to plan a mission, we have some formal processes that happen in the agency to include budgeting, coming up with specific plans, deciding what kind of experts need to be on the ground. Is it mountaineers, or is it going to be divers, or is it going to be a normal team that doesn't have mountaineers or divers? We have to have explosive ordnance personnel to deal with unexploded bombs.
As soon as the remains and other related items are collected and shipped back to Hawaii, John and his team perform thorough examinations, which can be much more painstaking and detailed than what we normally see on TV or in the movies.
We're responsible for the scientific aspects of our mission, and that includes scientific field recovery, so recovering evidence in the field. It also includes the identification of human remains that are brought into the laboratory, as well as the analysis of material evidence. So that would be like artifacts, airplane wreckage, things of that nature. Well, we consider our lab to specialize in what a lot of people would call residual remains. That is the remnants of what's left after many decades since a person died. So this would be hard tissues such as bones and teeth. It would be the artifacts that are durable that they had on their person. So things like clothing tend not to survive, but buttons survive, belt buckles, boot soles, whereas the upper parts of the boots tend to not survive. So it's these more durable components that are left after many, many years, and our laboratory specializes in getting the most information we can from those more durable components.
DPAA also takes pride in building strong partnerships with other countries. The Admiral even cites one particular country in Southeast Asia as an example for its unwavering support to America's cause.
One of the countries that we do regular operations on is the Philippines. Matter of fact, there are over 8,600 Americans unaccounted for in the Philippines. Matter of fact, that's the most of any country in the world. We do field operations throughout the Philippines. 4 missions this year alone, either have already been done or are scheduled to be done. And so our relations with the Defense Ministry in the Philippines is very close and very supportive. That is a very important part of our work throughout the Indo-Pacific region especially. But great relationships and great support. We also not only work with the Philippine government, we also do work with the University of Manila, and partnering with a U.S. university and the University of Manila, doing work with us both throughout most of Luzon and other regions of the Philippines. So that's a very important part of our effort in this part of the world.
In addition, DPAA acknowledges the importance of maintaining constant communications with loved ones who have to wait for months or even years on the whereabouts of their missing heroes.
Well, we have a daunting mission. There's a reason why all of these soldiers are still missing, is because they were difficult to locate or difficult to identify back at the end of the war. But we are putting the best science available against the problem. We're putting a pretty massive logistical capability against the problem. We're getting into very remote regions, high up on mountaintops, on glaciers. We're going under the ocean, and we're doing underwater recoveries, and we're doing a lot to try to resolve as many of these cases as we can, and we do it with a strong sense of urgency. We know that for the families that are waiting, it can't possibly be fast enough, but we do have a strong sense of urgency in what we do.
One of our core missions is to communicate with the families of the missing, veteran service organizations, family support organizations, other government entities. So we do put a lot of effort into providing regular family member updates, where we go visit different cities around the United States each year. And the services have casualty offices that assist us and are part of this effort, and they reach out to next of kin of missing in action in the area where we're going to go do briefings. And family members are able to come and get updates on their fallen and on our program overall. So we can provide them the latest and where we're at in terms of research, how we do a scientific analysis. They can learn about their loved one's case itself specifically. So that is a big part of our outreach to families. We also have a very large web presence. Also opportunities such as this to share our mission and our efforts with audiences is very important to us. We can never get enough information out to the family, so it is a very big part of our mission.
Previous conflicts where these missing individuals served include World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Cold War, Operation Desert Storm, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Additional information about the DPAA is available through the website www.dpaa.mil.
At present, there are still tens of thousands still missing. And through this agency, the U.S. government will not stop until all the fallen heroes are found and returned home to their loved ones. Reporting from Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam in Hawaii, I'm Mio Asenas, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Mio. Coming up, in Maryland, the kinetic sculpture race marks 21 years of human-powered artwork. In Sacramento, California, Bubble Run aims to keep kids off the couch. And in Oakland, NBA Cares creates space for the youth. Eagle News Weekend Edition will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Weekend Edition. In Maryland, the American Visionary Museum brought Baltimore amphibious human-powered artworks celebrating 21 years of the kinetic sculpture race. Eagle News correspondent Rose Papaangelis with the story.
Well-engineered vehicles, all human-powered. Rain or shine, the fearless artists, engineer pilots, or kinetronauts will trek the streets of Baltimore, Maryland, dipping into the waters of the harbor, drilling through sand and mud, and speeding the highway to finish this 14-mile race called the Kinetic Sculpture Race. Imagine a bicycle, and then imagine a giant sculpture on top of it. Then races through the city of Baltimore, 15 miles. It must float over our inner harbor. In other words, it must be amphibious, exit the water, then through hill and dale, a mud pit, and a sand pit before crossing the finish line here. So that's our kinetic sculpture race, which we've been doing for 21 years here in Baltimore. from the American Visionary Art Museum.
How long did it take you to build it?
Definitely, I was estimating the time I put into it. I would say it took us over 3 months, and part of that was conceptualizing, but we also were very down to the wire on we're not here to win, we're just here to have fun.
For us, this is just the most wonderful celebration of human diversity and human creativity, and we make sure we make it every year. We just love it.
Ours is the Shark Tank, so we built it 12 years ago. It's powered by 8 people and driven by 1, and it's built from an old Suzuki Samurai, 1987 Suzuki Samurai. Transmission, drivetrain.
And how long did it take you to build it?
Too long. It was probably a 4-month build 12 years ago. It's gonna be a win. We're going for mediocrity.
One of these 25 sculptures will receive the much coveted ACE Award, the highest race challenge award, wherein a merciless ACE judge will watch their very move, and of course a chance to represent the East Coast in a 3-day all-terrain kinetic grand championship in California. But whether they receive an award or not, the kinetnauts, as well as the spectators, come back every year, bigger, stronger, or even wackier, all for the sake of fun and kinetic engineering. From the 21st Kinetic Sculpture Race by the American Visionary Art Museum in Baltimore, Maryland, I am Rose Papa Angeles, and I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Rose. Some futuristic moving artwork you got there. From Maryland, let's head over to Sacramento, where kids were inspired to get off the couch, run for fun, and contribute to a great cause. Rabina Taloy reports.
Participants of all different ages are here at Cal Expo in Sacramento for the Bubble Run.
What better way to kick off the summer than to go outside for this fun and clean run? More than 17,000 participants have shown up to support different charities in the community and to spend time with their friends and family.
So you mentioned that it's your second time, so what made you want to come again for this year?
The exercise and the bubbles, mostly the bubbles.
The green bubbles.
I knew you were going to say that.
Friends and all the bubbles.
Bubbles, friends, and company.
Yes, yes.
Always have fun.
I think helping with charities is nice because I like supporting people who have cancer because they need help because they have something. And I support people that have some hard things, and I like helping them so they could have a better life.
It's great. You know, we're all nurses, so we believe in supporting and helping a good cause, so we're here to support.
I didn't know that this one was for charity, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Family that adopted.
Yeah, getting lost wasn't fun. Half an hour wasn't fun, but these guys are my friends and I love them.
My name is Brogue Starrett. I'm the founder of the Bubble Run. We started off the year with about 140 different events that we do throughout the country. Bubble Run has about 40 events itself. We actually have a Bubble Run happening in Washington, D.C. right now as well. So yeah, we have about 140 events a year that we do around the country, and it's all for a great cause. So the charity that we have involved right now, it's our national charity partner called One Wish, and we donate $1 per registration throughout all of our brands, not just Bubble Run. To One Wish, and One Wish helps with childhood cancer and other childhood diseases. So this year we've contributed over $1 million just in 2019, and we're only 6 months into the year, so it's been a great partnership. So Bubble Run was really created out of trying to get kids off the couch, showing kids that exercise can be fun, and you add colored bubbles into it and you're pretty much grand slam getting the kids out. It's important for the families to come out to teach their kids a good be a good role model in fitness and getting them going at a young age, but then also giving back to local communities and giving back to the charities that are helping a lot of kids around the world. Yeah.
From the Bubble Run here in Sacramento, California, I'm Rabina Taloy, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Rabina. Inspiring kids and young adults to chase after their dreams, the NBA Cares program continues its commitment to create positive and safe learning and playing environments for the youth. Eagle News sports correspondent Jaina Palisigi with the story.
Before heading to the floor for Game 4 of the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors invest time in their community by joining in the celebration of the new NBA Cares Learn and Play Zone at the Ira Jenkins Recreation Center. For the 5th straight year, the NBA has dedicated a center in Oakland, California, continuing with the tradition of building stronger and safer communities. The NBA and Oakland family banded together to champion the importance of raising youth to be excited about learning and playing. NBA Cares creates spaces for children that motivates them to develop their passions at a young age and grants opportunities for youth to reach their goals. In partnership with Kaiser Permanente, State Farm, and other generous sponsors, 4 newly renovated spaces were unveiled for the community to learn and play. These rooms included a multi-purpose room, game room, study room, and computer room, all decked out in blue and yellow, featuring some of the center's favorite Warrior players on the wall. Youth will be able to use these spaces to participate in self-love dances, read with therapy animals, learn to cook their own healthy meals, conduct science projects, and so much more.
Again, I challenge you all to make the best use of this as you possibly can. I challenge you all and to just continue to be a better you. And I want to encourage you all to strive for whatever dream it is that you have, whether it's getting to the NBA, whether it's being the next commissioner of the NBA, whether it's being, the executive director of the NBA Players Association, whether it's having a dream of being Rick Welts and being the president of the Golden State Warriors, whatever it is, you can do it. Because what you also got to remember is Adam Silver was the same kid that sat here. And Steph Curry was the same kid that sat here and listened to someone speak. So go after your dreams, continue to work hard.
The players joined in all the fun during the grand opening of the new spaces. Draymond took it to the gym to learn self-defense, while Alfonso McKinney took a seat to read in the library with youth and therapy animals. Damian Jones got into action with a science experiment where everyone learned how to make their own colorful and messy slime. The Ira Jenkins Recreation Center has a long-standing relationship with the Warriors, having participated in the Junior Warriors Basketball League for over a decade. The center continues to be a physical activity and resource hub for the community, offering more and more every year.
This, like I said, is the heart of this community. So seniors come here, youth come here, adults come here. We've got workout classes, Zumba classes, we've got sports teams, cooking classes, and all different opportunities for people to be involved. And this is really, really cool. There are people out that want to come check it out and continue to be a part of this center. They also provided some wonderful scholarships, and so people that can't afford to pay for programming, we can scholarship those persons in programming.
The center is the 1,274th live, learn, or play space created by the NBA family. And each NBA Finals run for the Golden State Warriors impact the children and families of Oakland year after year. Reporting from Oakland, California, I'm Jaina Palisigi, always one with 25.
Thanks, Jaina. That is today's Eagle News Weekend Edition. Join us again next week for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the globe. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on twitter.com/eaglenewsph and on facebook.com/eaglenewsph. Thank you for watching. I'm Alan Balseoyahe. I'm one with 25. Happy weekend.